Every group has one. The one who never brings it up. Not once. Not the raise, not the deal, not the trip, not the watch. While everyone else is quietly competing in a scoreboard nobody agreed to keep, he just doesn't play. You've known him 12 years, and you realize, sitting in his kitchen on a Saturday afternoon, that you have absolutely no idea what he does for money. Let's go back. You met him at 23. Same job, same floor, same terrible coffee. Back then, everyone's numbers were roughly the same, so nobody had to perform anything yet. You were all broke together, and being broke together is one of the last honest things people do. Then people started pulling ahead, or looking like they were. Someone got the title. Someone got the car. The group chat slowly turned into a place where information was released strategically: a photo of a boarding pass, a story with a wrist in the frame, a small win announced with the exact humility of someone who practiced saying it. Nobody called it bragging. Everybody knew what it was. And through all of it, he said nothing. Not in a cold way. He'd react to your stuff. He'd ask real questions about your job. He remembered the name of the client you were stressed about 8 months earlier. He was present, he just never put anything of his own on the table. At first you assumed he was struggling. That's the thing about silence. Everyone fills it with the story that makes the most sense to them. And the story that made sense was that he was behind. Why else would you not mention it? So you were careful around him. You'd suggest the cheaper place. You'd say my treat a little too quickly. Once, a few of you talked about whether you should check on him, not unkindly. Genuinely, you thought you were being good friends. You weren't wrong to care, you were just wrong about which direction the care needed to go. Quick thing before I keep going, because what he was actually doing for those 12 years is the whole point of this story. If you've ever wondered why the loudest people about money are almost never the ones who have it, this channel is built for that. Money Lens. Hit subscribe and stay to the end. The last 2 minutes are why I'm telling you this at all. Okay, back to your friend. Here's what you did know about him and how little it added up to. He drove the same car for 9 years. Nothing wrong with it, nothing interesting about it. He wore the same 3 jackets on rotation. He lived in a decent apartment in a neighborhood nobody had opinions about. When someone asked what he did, he'd say something so boring the conversation moved on by itself. Operation stuff. Kind of a boring job, honestly, you never pushed. Nobody pushes on boring. And that, you understand now, was the entire design. Because here's the part you missed. Every single one of those things was a choice. Not a limitation, a choice. The car wasn't old because he couldn't replace it. The answer was boring because boring ends the conversation. He wasn't hiding. He was just declining, over and over, for 12 years to hand anyone a number they could hold him to. You start noticing other things in hindsight, the way you always do once you have the answer. He never once seemed stressed in the week before payday, when the company did a round of layoffs at 31 and the whole floor was refreshing their inboxes with their stomachs in knots. He was the only person who ate lunch normally. You thought he was just calm by nature. He wasn't calm by nature. He was calm because nothing on that floor could actually hurt him. And there was the wedding. Someone's cousin's wedding, 4 hours away, and one of your friends was quietly panicking about the flight and the gift and the hotel, all landing in the same month. He handled it. Nobody knows how. It just got handled, and the subject never came up again, and the friend never had to say out loud that he couldn't afford it. That happened more than once. You only see the pattern now. So why does someone do this? Why sit on it for 12 years? You used to think it was modesty, some kind of humility thing. It isn't. It's practical. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Because the moment people know what you have, something changes that you can never change back. They stop relating to you and start relating to it. The advice gets weird. The invitations get calculated. Somebody's brother-in-law suddenly has an opportunity. Someone remembers a favor from 6 years ago. It's not malice, most of it isn't even conscious. It's just what a number does to a room once it's visible. He wasn't protecting his money. He was protecting his friendships. He figured out early that the version of him you could be normal around was worth more than the version of him you'd be impressed by. And there's a second reason, quieter than the first. Every person at that table performing their wins had to keep funding the performance. The car has a payment. The trip has a bill. The image has a subscription fee due monthly, forever, and it never gets cheaper because the audience adjusts. Whatever impressed them last year is just the baseline now. He never bought into that market. So he never had to keep paying its rent. While everyone else was spending money to look like they were winning, he was just winning. Silently. In an account nobody was allowed to see. On a schedule nobody was clapping for. The Saturday you find out isn't dramatic. That's what gets you. You're in his kitchen. Something comes up, a decision he made, an offhand detail, a piece of the picture he didn't bother to hide because at this point it doesn't matter. And it lands, and you go quiet for a second, and he notices. And he doesn't gloat. He doesn't explain. He doesn't apologize either. He just refills your coffee. And on the drive home, you're not jealous. That surprises you. What you feel is smaller and stranger than jealousy. You feel embarrassed, not because he had more than you. Because for 12 years, you were performing for a room. And he was the only person in it who was never watching. Every small win you carefully announced. Every restaurant you picked because of who'd be there. You were paying rent on an image, to an audience that included one guy who genuinely did not care what you drove. He was never impressed. He was also never unimpressed. He just liked you. That was the whole thing. So here's what you actually take from it. The people who talk about money the most are almost never the ones who have it. That's not a rule of thumb. It's a mechanism. Because if you have it, talking about it costs you something. And if you don't, talking about it is the only version of having it available to you. Somewhere in your life right now, there's a person who's never mentioned it. You've probably already decided what their situation is. You decided it from a car, a jacket, a boring answer to a normal question. You might be right, but if you're wrong, you'll never find out from them. That's the point. They already made that decision years ago, and they made it on purpose, and the fact that you never noticed is exactly how well it worked. This is Money Lens. We show you what the money world doesn't say out loud.